Hello, I'm Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching Video Voters Guide. We are at MetroEast Community Media to talk with candidates running in the 2016 general election. With me today is Russell Williams, running for position 3 in the Fairview City Council. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
A pleasure. What kind of leadership can you bring to the Fairview City Council?
I've spent my entire life in the retail and wholesale grocery and non-foods business, and the vast majority of that time has been in management. Everything from assistant manager in a drugstore, Skaggs Drug back in the old days, to a district manager, and then I worked for the state of Nevada, where I ran the state's inmate store system, and we had 19 stores in 16 locations across the state. And I've had a lot of experience dealing with people, budgets, legislators, governors, department directors, and I've always succeeded. I've been pretty much a success my entire life working in management. And I'd like to bring some of those skills that I've learned over the years to my community.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the Fairview City Council particularly needs from you?
A impartial person. My one, and some people have said a negative, is the fact that I've not been a resident here for that long. We've lived here a year, but I've always been a person who gets involved, and there's a lot of unique challenges with Fairview. One of the big things that I've looked at is there's the talk of combining the police force with Multnomah County Sheriff. Having come in from communities where the police were under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Department, I've seen it work and work very well. And that would be one of my priorities, is to get the police department under the sheriff. It would be good for the community, better policing, more officers on the street. We've got in Fairview 16 officers with days off, court, stuck in a traffic accident, crime investigation, whatever. At times we've got no coverage in town.
Wow.
And the sheriff, if we bring in the sheriff's office, we would have, I believe, more coverage. So it's become a priority. The other thing I want to see is, even though Fairview is part of the big metro area, it really has a nice small town feel. I've lived in communities like in Montana. The whole county was 3,500 people, and up to and including Las Vegas, we're 2.5 million people. But Fairview has that small town appeal to me. I'm a Montanan originally, and I like the fact you can go out and talk to your neighbors. I walk a lot. I visit my neighbors. I talk to my neighbors, and I just love the feel of it. The fact, and I want to contribute. I want to make the community better.
Terrific. What do you see as the needs and goals of the city?
I've just honestly just kind of getting into that. One of the big things is trying to grow business in the community. If you've been over to our town center, there's a lot of empty shops over there, and I'd like to see them filled. And one of my priorities would be to try to let businesses know what a great community it is, and to encourage and come up with ways to entice them to come out and set up shop in Fairview. I love the little town downtown, and it's again that small town feel, but with all the benefits of the big city. And would be another one of my priorities, is to entice businesses to come out there. I mean, there's some excellent restaurants in Fairview. Of course, the big Target store is there. But I'd like to get some smaller businesses, some, for lack of a better term, the mom and pop type stores. But a lot of people, are maybe a little hesitant to come out, because we are kind of out on the edge. But I think we can entice them and encourage them and show them that it's a great place to come, because it's a great community.
Terrific. How would you work with or strengthen the council's relationship with surrounding jurisdictions on issues like transportation, social services?
I'm glad you mentioned that. Transportation out in our area is woefully inadequate as far as the metro, the bus systems. I've lived here now for just a little over a year. Rarely do I see a bus. We got a bus stop just walking distance to my house, just a block away, and occasionally I'll see a bus. But I've had several people in our community that have made the comment, that particularly if they have to go downtown, as we know, parking downtown is scarce and expensive, and short of having to drive over to catch the Max, a lot of people would love to take the bus, and that's one way that I would encourage the Max and the bus system to get more routes and more frequent out there. I think it would be, a lot of people would take advantage of it.
And what about the relationship with other jurisdictions on social services?
It's fun. We had a meeting last night with the Chamber of Commerce, and that was one of the prime things that we talked about. And I totally agree. We are kind of in the same boat. Is we need to work together to, again, encourage people to come out here. This is a great side of town. I know I've heard people saying, yeah, well, the east side is they're just kind of there. They're not really part of us. I heard I spent a month on the grand jury this year for the county, and I heard that comment over and over and over from people I served with, is, that, oh, you live in the East County, sorry for you. And it kind of hurts. I mean, we spent a lot of time looking for our house to settle in, and I couldn't find a neighborhood that I thought was better than the one we ended up in Fairview. And I want to help encourage that, and I think working with the little townships around would, to, again, tout the benefits and toot our own horn in one way or other, to let people know, this is a great part of town to live, and there's a lot of advantages. I mean, Blue Lake, great recreational area. I'm totally impressed with, anytime anybody comes to town, one of the places we take them is down to Blue Lake.
Of course. I'm sorry to cut you off. We are out of time.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. This has been the Video Voter's Guide. The general election is November 8th, and the last day to register to vote is October 18th. Please, be an informed candidate. Be an informed voter. Learn about the candidates, learn about the ballot measures, and remember, your vote matters. Exercise that vote. Thank you for joining us today. Russell Williams, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.